I never forget a face.
I know you don't. And in years to come, you might find yourself revisiting a few, but just the old favorites, eh? You were curious about this painting, I think. I acquired it in remarkable circumstances. What do you make of the title?
Which title this too? No more. Oh, Gallifrey Falls.
Oh, you see, that's where everybody's wrong. It's all one title. Gallifrey Falls no more. Now, what would you think that means?
Well, everybody, it's been a few years since we've had Trevor.
Yep.
We introduced Trevor to Citizen Frame. And we didn't do a 200th episode. So, what better way, fuck me, to do a 200th episode than with the one show that I think all of us are experts on now, thanks to Trevor. So, let's talk Doctor Who.
It's finally happened.
Yeah, yes it has. You know, it's kind of funny. I never wanted to visit Doctor Who, but I'm a kind soul. So, it's like, even I can finish that without laughing. So I say, okay, pick at least one that was almost like a full-length feature. All right, so we can kind of stick with the movie theme. So we picked one, and I got a copy, but the picture didn't match the one I was watching. So I ended up, long story short, having watched like 3 hours of fucking Doctor Who to find the right one. And the one I watched was called Time with the Doctor. And it was the one where Matt Smith says goodbye.
Yes, he regenerates.
Yes. Yeah. So, however, it was a pleasant, I can't believe I'm saying that word, how Doctor Who non-fans, it was a good episode to watch because it did give you a bunch of facts about Doctor Who. So where he's from, I found out how many doctors there can be, etc., etc. So it was a, what do you call it? The Doctor Who for Dummies episode. Where, if you don't know it, it's
yeah.
If you guys want to know about Doctor Who, Time of the Doctor would be a good one to jump into. It's easy watch, and then you can start watching Doctor Who's whatever. But yeah, so I got something out of watching that one.
You met the Daleks and the Cybermen. There's lots of villains as well in that, like for like the Silence.
Yes,
stuff.
yes, you spotted like the C-3POs. Those were the Cybermen, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
then Doctor Who had his buddy sidekick, who's just a head, called Handles.
Yes, yes.
See,
I like Handles.
Yeah, see, I actually got a little. I felt sorry for when Handles dies.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's emotional. Yeah.
I didn't like that. I just knew him for 45 minutes. So it's funny when you watch sci-fi movies. We always care about the robots.
Yeah, well, it's like if you're watching like a horror film or any type of film, and there's people getting killed left, right, and center, you don't give a shit. But then if like somebody like harms a dog, or if it's a science fiction film, a robot, you're like, oh no, not that's too far.
Yeah, I know. I was introduced to Jenna Coleman, who's just a beautiful girl.
Yep.
Very talented.
Yep. Also, Karen Gillan is in that one very briefly.
Yeah, I noticed that. The Scottish lass.
Yes.
From Guardians, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
But
she's in those ones with The Rock. Is it? Where they're like in a video game. Jumanji. The
Jumanji film. Yeah. But yeah, like you mentioned numerous times on this podcast, a lot of actors have come from Doctor Who. Kind of like you mentioned again, Australia has Neighbours. The English have Doctor Who. We have, I'd probably say like Star Trek would be ours.
Yeah.
Or MASH might be a good one too. Those long running programs introduce us to a lot of up and coming talent. So let's talk. Here we go, folks. Doctor Who.
Oh, yes.
All right, Doctor Who is a British science fiction television series broadcast by the BBC since 1963, and that aired on November 23rd at 5:15 p.m. Ooh, you impressed there?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
The series depicts the adventures of a Time Lord called the Doctor, an extraterrestrial being who appears to be human. The Doctor explores the universe in time-traveling spaceship called the Tardis. There you go. There's pretty much the lowdown. I got a series of questions, by the way, so that's where you're beginning.
Oh, I'm waiting on them. Yeah.
All right, so here we go. The Doctors. From 1963 to 1966, we had a man called William Hartnell. Died quite young, 67.
Yes, yes.
But
he was only like in his 50s when he played the Doctor, but he looked much older.
Yeah. Patrick Troughton was from 66 to 69.
Yep.
His claim to fame, well, I looked all these up. You're welcome. Very Shakespearean trained. But his claim I knew I recognized him.
The Omen.
Father Brennan in The Omen.
Yep.
The
tormented priest.
He was also, he played in quite a few, what do you call them? Harryhausen films.
Yes.
He was in the Sinbad films.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
And we know John Pertwee. I like to know him as Sean's dad.
Yeah.
He was from 1970, 1974. The one I'm very familiar with because my brother Paul, Tom Baker, who was 74 to 81. We've got Peter Davidson from 81 to 84. And we got Colin Baxter from 84 to 86.
Colin Baker, yep.
We've got Sylvester McCoy and from 87 to 89. We did mention him in his horrible performance in Rob Zombie's The Monsters.
I liked it.
Yeah, I know you did. Unbelievable. We got Paul McCann from just 96. He was in Alien 3. I knew I recognized him.
Yes.
We got Christopher Eccleston. I can never pronounce his last name. Eccleston. 2005. Yep. He's always going to be the fucking great role in Shallow Grave.
Yes.
The man himself, the one I love to see in anything he does, David Tennant, was 2005 to 2010. In fact, his performance in Fright Night is brilliant. He makes that film, him and Colin Farrell. And we'll probably get into an argument with this one, Trevor, down the road when we do it, but it is better than the original.
Whoa, sacrilege.
Yes, I know. Yeah. And then Matt Smith from 2010, 2013. And then we got Peter Capaldi from 2013, 2017. Jodie Whittaker from 2017. She was cute. And the new guy, I'm going to butcher this, Nukoti Gatwa.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Now, here we go. Yeah, I was introduced to, I mentioned this before, Doctor Who in the early 80s with Tom Baker's character. I remember the big scarf.
Yeah.
Now, in watching this, I will say this, and you would be better to answer this one, but just seeing David Tennant, Matt Smith, and, well, I think that was John Hurt was Doctor Who in that one. And then you've got Tom Baker. Those are the ones I know now.
Yeah.
And they all have they have one thing in common. They're very manic. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah, well, the Doctor is a sort of manic character. And just to confirm to the listeners, we're actually doing Day of the Doctor, the 50th anniversary special.
Yeah. We'll dive into that in a minute. It's just a series of questions before we get into that.
Yeah, the Doctor is basically, the Doctor's personality is he's very, very clever, but he's also very eccentric and funny. But he also has a very, very dark side, as we see in this episode from the special from 2013.
Now, do you know that all these? Because I've seen Tom Baker. I remember his character, and I obviously these last two. So, you know what they're like a manic Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah. Well, there's that clever, eccentric sort of. Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you this. And we're not talking about the new one you just mentioned. We're talking about Time of the Doctor right now. They mentioned because he dies.
Yes.
The Doctor dies and takes another form.
Yes.
I got a couple questions here.
He regenerates. Yeah.
First of all, and then Peter Capaldi came up, right?
Yeah.
And then there's Clara saying, and he asked Clara, "How do I drive this thing? Or how do
Yes.
you know how to drive this thing?" So when there's a new body, they don't remember.
No, they do remember their previous lives, but they, whenever they regenerate, they're very confused and they're all over the place. So, you were talking about them being manic; they're even more manic. So, for the first episode or two with the new Doctor, yes, they do remember their previous lives, but it's like trauma. They went through a trauma.
Okay, so does Jenna Coleman come back as Clara?
Yes, she was Peter Capaldi's companion for. Yeah, it just runs into itself. You know what I mean?
All right, so is that Matt Smith? So in Peter Capaldi, that is Matt Smith too.
Yes. Basically, Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, they are the same character, playing the same character that William Hartnell played in 1963. It's the same person.
So, in the movie we're about to talk about,
Yes.
was John Hurt a doctor?
Yes, he was.
All right, there we go. That's my question.
Yes.
The reason I'm asking you this, I'm doing a head count.
Yeah.
All right.
John Hurt came between the Sylvester. John Hurt came between the Paul McGann and the Christopher Eccleston doctors. He actually, whenever the series was off the air, he's between that. So he is.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The reason I'm asking you this, because in the episode I watched, as he's dying, or knows he's going to die, he says they can only do this 13 times.
Yes.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yes, I know, and I've got the answer for your question. In that same episode, whenever he's about to die for good, or so you think, then like the portal opens and the Time Lords from Gallifrey appear, and they grant him a brand new cycle of regenerations, which is basically another 12 regenerations, 13 lives.
Ah, okay. So 1-night fix.
Yeah, pretty much. But I would say with the, I mean, we don't have to get down this rabbit hole, but with the latest sort of Doctor, the Jodie Whittaker Doctor, the writing, which was absolutely atrocious, it was a true nadir for the show. They basically totally messed with all of this backstory, and that needs fixed in itself. So I suppose with 60 years, you're going to get a lot of sort of you're going to get a few inconsistencies, but whenever the Jodie Whittaker Doctor took over, there was this episode where it basically rewrote the Doctor's back history, which really pissed off a lot of fans, including me. So yeah, but we're not here to talk about the Jodie era. But yeah, let's talk about what I consider the real Doctor Who, Okay. And again, none to do with her being a woman, but
that's okay. Everybody, take anything from this podcast. Trevor's a sexist pig.
Not at all. They should have cast an older woman, someone like Judi Dench. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that one.
Poor Judy, I don't think you do it anymore. She's going blind, I think, or something like that.
Oh, is she? Oh, dear.
Helen Mirren.
Yeah, someone like her, someone with gravitas, and also they should have hired proper, actual adult science fiction writers. But anyway, that's a whole different podcast. That's for the dog. Yeah.
So I did my research. The only thing I know about Doctor Who is basic stuff, but is the Tardis. So I looked up Tardis.
Yes.
Do you know what Tardis stands for?
Yes.
What's
time and relative dimension in space.
Damn. Do you think you get that one? Okay. All right. Why is it bigger inside than the out?
It's basically Time Lord technology. So it is.
Damn it. I didn't have Time Lord on here. Shit. Okay. Thought I got you in that one. Okay. Okay. And don't Google it. You got like a half a second to answer it.
Go ahead.
Why does it wheeze and groan when it's coming in?
That's the engines.
Yeah, but why does it do it?
Well, that's just the sound of the engines.
No, it's because Doctor Who always leaves the brakes on.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been a few sort of
no.
Yeah.
I you know that wee thing. Because he leaves the brakes on.
Right, there you go.
Bet you didn't know that. Wow.
Every day's a school day.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, one more. No, that's not one more. I do have one comment I want to make. After watching these series of Doctor Who's, I'm going to ask you right now, Trevor, and I guarantee you any Doctor Who fan would agree with me. how the fuck do you not like Buckaroo Banzai?
I've nothing against Buckaroo
No,
Banzai.
no, no. You couldn't stand. Now, I don't understand. That movie is made for people like yourself.
I mean, I quite liked it. I mean, I remember the
No.
podcast.
No.
And
We have this argument. I no, I'm not trying to bully in this, but my point is that it makes no sense how you did not like. I mean, that is literally one big Doctor Who episode.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but I don't know. I think I would have to watch it again. You know what I mean? And there would have to be, maybe with the Doctor Who stuff, it's just because it's been with me for so long, like all my life. It's, you know, there's that emotional connection there, and maybe I didn't quite have that with Buckaroo Banzai. But I know what you're saying. I remember the podcast, I remember saying that, you know, I liked it in certain aspects, and I got what they were trying to do, but I just wasn't on board with it, if that makes sense.
All right. Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
So, all right. So we're here. We're here right now. Talk about the program, the episode.
Yeah.
So we got 3 doctors: Matt Smith, David Tennant, and John Hurt.
Yes.
We got Clara back, Jenna Coleman. We got Billy Piper, and a bunch of other things. No big deal. Kind of a simple cast, which I like. And so Billy Piper, the helicopter takes the TARDIS.
Yes.
Why in the TARDIS, if he's panicking so much, why didn't he just time warp?
Because he fell out of it.
I saw that, but he could have.
Yeah, he could have just got. Yeah, I know. I think it was just done basically for a comedic sort of opening.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So people know Doctor Who exists.
Yes.
Okay. So this is
no, not everyone. That's UNIT. They're a secret, like government sort of military organization who have been working with the Doctor since basically the 1960s with the Patrick Troughton Doctor, but especially the John Pertwee Doctor, who he used to work with. And it was a recurring character who was one of the main cast was back in the 70s. Well, actually from the late 60s, was Brigadier Gordon Lethbridge Stewart, who was like the Doctor's best friend, but he was like this sort of pompous army guy. But that's his daughter. So it is.
Okay. So they're like the M16, MI6, whatever.
Yes, they're like yeah.
Okay.
They investigate alien attacks, usually on Britain, you know.
See little Tom Baker scarf?
Yes.
On the assistant.
Yeah.
And he says, nice scarf.
Did you see the male assistant? Did you the guy from Northern Ireland?
No.
McKillop, you call him?
No.
Yeah, well, I went to school with him. John Joe O'Neill. He's from West Belfast. Nice guy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So there you go.
You're besties with the assistant guy in Doctor Who.
McKillop, yeah.
Now we're introduced to this oil painting, which I thought was kind of clever, where it's 3D. So it's a nice shot when they go into the painting, the camera goes in, and you go into the painting, and it's 3D, but everything looks like it's been painted.
Yes.
And then you see a solo figure in there. That solo figure is going to be the John Hurt character. Mm-hmm. And we see him spray paint or shoot out the words "No More," which we never knew what that meant until the very, very end, which is a clever little twist they give us, which we'll dive into at the end there. But these dialect things,
yes,
they're stupid. I can't. These are stupid. They're fucking. I mean, just find stairs, you know. or I mean, I'm sorry. These
but
things,
they can fly now.
And let me ask you. I mean, there's really no threat in Doctor Who, is there?
Well,
I mean, these things are pretty. Shoot them, got them.
Look, you know what it was? There was a serious lack of budget when Doctor Who first came out in the 60s, and you know this was like the early to mid 1960s. There was lack of budget, you know, and you know it was early days of TV.
Not now.
Yes, I know, but they have them sort of now. But because they were so beloved back then, and they've sort of brought them back. So I suppose there is a nostalgia factor there, but they can fly now, so they can't go upstairs and stuff, and they're basically the Daleks were based on the Nazis, so they were, because they're like they want to create like this perfect race, like that, like themselves, basically in their own image. And their creator was a mad scientist called Davros. I mean, again, this is all, you're going into the back history and stuff, but yeah, like, you know what I mean? I can understand people coming into it and saying, what the fuck, these are basically just pepper pots,
Just update them.
The shirt, yeah, but basically, but yeah, there would be like a huge like outcry if they changed the look of the Daleks.
I guess, yeah, what you're saying is because it was the 50s, Star Trek kind of did that the same. Even the new Star Treks, they cleaned up the effects and make them look a little cooler. But at the end of the day, they never changed the shape of the ship. They never changed.
Yes.
The phasers. Everything kind of stayed the same. You don't want to, mess with tradition.
Exactly.
Or the original.
Although with Star Trek, they did in the original series of Star Trek, the Klingons are just basically actors with brown makeup on their faces. Over the years, they elaborated them. Yeah, what racism against Klingons? but over the years, they give them, those fucking Mars bar heads and stuff, like that Worf has.
I like those. I like Klingons.
So do I.
Klingons are vicious. They're awesome.
Oh yeah, I like Klingons. I like Worf. Yeah.
We should jump into Star Treks.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Undiscovered Country, underrated gem.
I'm a fan of Star Trek as well, though. Yeah. Undiscovered Country's great. David Warner and all's in that. Yeah.
Oh, great cast. Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
The bad Klingon.
Yeah.
All right.
Very good.
So we flash back to John Hurt now because we're in the painting.
Yes.
John Hurt is there because what's the planet called? Gallifrey. Gallifrey is where Doctor Who's from.
Yes.
All right. So, and I remember that one from the one I watched, Time of the Doctor, because he mentions he wasn't leaving the town of Christmas behind because he did that with his home planet and it was destroyed. So that's why he is in Christmas will not leave until his dying day, protecting that small town.
Yes.
Wow. But look at it. See, I'm learning so much.
Yeah, but also it was during the Time War, which we see John Hurt fighting in, which was the last great Time War type thing. The backstory, certainly within the sort of the more modern series of Doctor Who, the big thing that the Doctor's guilt was always because to end the Time War he had to commit genocide on his own people, the entire he massacred his own people, the entire planet.
God,
along with the Daleks.
Just like Tatooine.
Yeah.
No, not Tatooine. Alderaan.
Oh, Alderaan, yes.
Alderaan?
Sorry.
Well, that was Darth Vader just being a douche.
Well, this is the Doctor who's the hero,
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't Darth Vader. It was Peter Cushing.
Oh, that's right, because Peter Cushing was the one in charge.
Yes, that's right.
I keep forgetting
Grand
that.
Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about good old Peter.
Yeah.
All right, so so John Hurt then takes this little box, and this box has a woman.
Yes,
they really love their woman assistants here, don't they? Doctor Who.
Well, they always have done. It was back in the day, whenever these things were a bit more acceptable. The sexy assistants were there. Doctor Who, the program was for the kids, but the sexy assistants were there to keep the dads interested.
So instead of a box or a computer talking, it generates this form.
Yes, Billy Piper.
It tells them, and she pretty much tells him what the device is for.
Yes.
So when he opens that device, John Hurt, that causes the two wormholes to open. Is that correct?
I believe the moment, as the sort of like the Doomsday Bomb was called, basically caused these rifts to show the Doctor, the John Hurt Doctor, the man he will become, i.e. Matt Smith and David Tennant. I would say as well, regarding the moment Billy Piper playing it, Billy Piper was brought back because she was a big fan favourite. She was the assistant as Rose Tyler of the Christopher Eccleston Doctor, and also especially the David Tennant Doctor. So she was brought back as a I think what it is, the bomb, the moment explains that I've come back as a familiar face, but it got instead of coming back as a past self that he would have remembered John Hurt, it got it mixed up and came back as a future face, i.e. Rose Tyler, Billy Piper.
All right, so that still doesn't answer my question.
What is your question?
Doctor Who, pretty much, the Matt Smith Doctor Who and Clara they're like the Tower of London, and they're in the bottom basement where they have all these hidden from Queen Elizabeth days.
Yes.
Because Queen Elizabeth knew about Doctor, which we'll find out was David Tennant.
Yes.
And John Hurt is in future during the downfall of the home planet.
Yes.
So he opens this box. For some reason, the box knows to go to 1562, Elizabeth the first time, and to modern London. Because the box knows that's where the two people that can assist him better. Is that what that's for? That's right. You get where I'm getting confused.
No. The box is basically because he is he feels terrible and he wants to. He basically says he has no intent. John Hurt says he has no intention of surviving the bomb. He wants to die basically, but die for good, not regenerate. So the box decides to show him the man he will become. The box is basically has its own conscience, but it's good and it's trying to stop him from using the bomb. If you know what I mean.
Oh, now that explains it. So
yes.
The box is giving him those two wormholes because these are the two that can help you.
Yes, but
so
also
the box is making the call.
Well, the box is trying to push him in the right direction.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta say one thing.
Yeah.
These Zycones are fucking pussies.
The Zycones.
Whatever the Zycone. They are the most harmless fucking things on the planet, and they're stupid.
Right. Again, it's a callback to they were 1970s sort of monsters. So it's a tip of the hat to the past. Their appearance in this episode, and they were very popular. Tom Baker fought them in the serial Terror of the Zygons. Look, I know, coming into it as not a Doctor Who fan, you're going to say, yeah, that's just a man in a costume.
No, I don't. And I'm fair. I like corny effects. I'm okay with that. And the effects are fine. I have nothing against the effects.
Yeah.
I know it's within, but they only have, even though this program has been around for 50 years, there's only 111 episodes. So they don't have, like you said, it's an expensive show to reproduce.
There's about 900 odd episodes.
What was I reading for the 111?
That's a new series from it came back in 2005. Overall, there's over 900 episodes.
Oh, shit. Okay. That must have been like Tom Baker's time or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what I read. All right. Okay. But no, I have nothing against effects. I think they're fun enough. I mean, it's X-Files, that's cool. But what I mean, they're stupid. I mean, if Zycone came in here right now, I'd be like, oh, fuck, not these guys again. And it'd be like, God.
They're not the most threatening of monsters.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You need more threat here. Because at the end of the day, everything's spoon-fed to the doctors. Mm-hmm. I mean, these guys are geniuses, man, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, the assistants with wearing the Tom Baker scarf and Clara are the ones who solve everything, pretty much.
Well, I mean, it's... Yeah.
Am I wrong? The whole time, the doctors kept when they were
right. You know what it is, right? See, back in the original series, the original series is considered by some people, some quarters, to be sexist because the assistants were just basically used to run around. They were basically just screaming and used to get captured by the monsters or the evil villain, and the Doctor had to save them. So in the new series, they have made the assistants more sort of rounded characters in and of themselves, so they're actually smart as well. They're not just sexy, so it's basically they've more modernized the assistants so that they're quite sort of clever too, whereas in the past, which has been accused of sexist, being sexist because they were just used to run about screaming and get chased up corridors by monsters, and the Doctor had to save them. So that's why Clara and all has more of a role, if you know what I mean.
Well, I think what I was saying in the beginning, they're so manic, the doctors, and they're always arguing with each other.
Yes.
When you got three egos in the room, it took
Yeah.
the two girls to kind of say, shut the fuck up. This is what's happening. But, yeah, and then the whole Queen Elizabeth thing I thought was stupid, to be honest with you. When Queen Elizabeth fights off the Zycone by herself. Again, that's my point. They're no threat. I would like to... I know the main part of the story is the justification of destroying an entire planet.
Yes.
And so that's the more threat. That's what they're really dealing with, rather than the little side pieces.
Yeah.
But you needed something more threatening. I'm sorry, I just don't think these things are not. And then you have the little scene of the C-3POs. What do they call it? Cybermen. Put those guys in. Those guys seem like be more threatening. It was them.
Yeah. I would, or just the Daleks, because the Daleks are...
Yeah. Well, the Daleks would... Actually, that does make more sense, because the Daleks would be in the paintings or something.
Yes.
Because something comes out of the paintings we see.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
but those are the Cyclones who are in the paintings. They put the ones who come out. They use the paintings to pop out for this time to take over London.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, no offense, these guys aren't taking over a fucking Blockbuster video. All right? Okay? These guys are fucking useless.
Yeah, I would have... There could well have been a bigger threat there. I'll give you that, yeah.
So, at the end of the day, there's a good speech where they talk about... John Hurt makes the comment, they're trying to think what to do.
Yeah.
And then they realize we need to calm down here. And then I think it's Matt Smith who says, wait a minute. Oh, no. It was Clara or the robot, the hologram lady, Billy Piper.
Yes,
who says, guys, 3 minds are better than one.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And
there's 3 of
they
you.
realize there's 3 of us. We could easily, no offense, they can easily take them, just them. But it's one person. What do you think 3 of them will do?
Yeah.
So that's where that mentality comes. So they decide they're going to use all the doctors, because you see it in the flashback in black and white, the original.
Yes.
The original 11. They're all in these little images. So all of them are going to get back together and do a time warp and move the planet. And if they're going to move the planet, as the Daleks are shooting on the planet, they'll end up shooting themselves.
Yes.
Because the planet has moved.
Yeah. They put it into a pocket universe.
And by them doing that, though, they'll kind of lose where the planet is.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be probably maybe in a future series or something.
Yeah, well, it's addressed. Yeah, and actually, that next one you watched, with the Time of the Doctor.
Yeah, but he talks to him in the Time of the Doctor that he destroyed his planet.
Yes.
So or he was just referencing that he once had to destroy his planet, but he didn't.
Yes, but because of time, yes, he still did it, but they still fixed it.
They fixed it, but initially he did do it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's what he was saying. So when they do the Crossfire thing, that's done. And then you got the real nice cameo by Tom Baker.
Yes.
Who is the curator of the museum.
He's like a future Doctor.
Yeah. And he's the one, not Clara, I got that wrong. He's the one who says in the beginning where you saw the paint had the fall of, what's the planet called again?
Gallifrey Falls, yeah.
Yeah, he says the fall of that place you said.
Gallifrey.
Call it Mars, okay?
Yeah.
The fall of Mars, all right? But then he says, don't forget the words that he put on the wall, no more.
Yes.
So it was foreshadowing.
Yes, Gallifrey Falls, no more.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's going to be. That's what it meant, the no more part. And that's why it comes kind of full circle from the beginning. And it ends with Tom Baker, which I think is quite nice.
Yeah.
Giving him the proper send-off, because I don't know the show that well as much as you do, but I'm going to assume him being one of the longest run is 10 years. He's probably the most popular. He's probably the most popular.
Yeah, especially in the US. So, if you asked any sort of American sort of fan, or any American person, well, what do you know about Doctor Who, or who's the Doctor? They'll say long scarf, Tom Baker.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Doctor Who.
We did it.
So all you bastards out there who root for Trevor, good Trevor, go get him. Go get him. You better appreciate me doing this.
Ciaran, more importantly, honestly, what did you think of it?
Not for me. It's, well, maybe it is. I don't know. It's not crap. Obviously, you've got talent here, especially with, I know David Tennant's work, I know Matt Smith's work, and I certainly know John Hurt's work.
Yeah.
Billy Piper and Jenna Comer are newbies to me, but at the beginning of this podcast, we talked about the actors who played Doctor Who and who went on to do great things.
Yes.
So, and I make fun of it just because I can. Because
we wind each other up.
I'm going to make fun of it because I don't like Trevor.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was all right. It wasn't bad. What I did like about it, listen, I thought the effects were fun. They're not going to be fucking Star Wars and stuff because they don't have the money for that. That's not.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. I do like the fact it's smart, but it's dumbed down. And what I mean by that, every episode you can kind of jump in. If you guys want to jump into Doctor Who, watch Time of the Doctor, the one I watched, the Christmas one, and then you'll know everything about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So it's not like you have to catch up like Marvel. We got to watch fucking 900 different shows to see one movie. Mm-hmm. So they're fair to their audience like that. They treat their audience smartly, but you can also, but at the same time, dumb it down. If that makes any sense.
No, I know what you mean. It's still accessible. You know what I mean?
They don't overstay their welcome. They're 53 minutes long or something like that. So it's not offensive. I do think at this point in time, 50 years later, they need better villains. I'm sorry, the dialects in the fucking cyber zone, or what the fuck they're called, they're stupid. Get rid of them. Give us new creatures. Give us something more threatening.
Stephen Moffat, who wrote those episodes that you watched, he did create some great villains, the Weeping Angels, which are...
I like them. Are those the stone things?
Yeah, the statues that only move whenever you're not watching them.
Yeah, those are creepy. That was in the beginning of Time of the Doctor.
Yes. The Weeping Angels, and then there's the Silence, those big, tall, skinny guys with like the scream faces. They were quite good as well. Stephen Moffat created them, so yes, he did bring back, he didn't not bring back, but he did create some very quite iconic and genuinely threatening villains for the series, but especially the Weeping Angels.
So I won't never get back. I'll never get into it because there's just too many of them. Mm-hmm. But I can understand why people who like Red Dwarf, for example, or Star Trek, or even X-Files would really enjoy this. It seems to have the same core audience.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate for what it is. It's not my cup of tea, but I'm still going to hold my own. I'm shocked you don't like Buckaroo Banzai.
I don't dislike Buckaroo Banzai.
No, dude, listen to the podcast. I am shocked. You ripped the movie to shreds. And I can't believe... We had this argument when we watched Buckaroo Banzai, when we did it. And I listened to the podcast, and I was like, I'm going to come. I just don't... It's the exact same thing.
Fair enough. I have a personal connection to Doctor Who. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I suppose. But there you have it, people. Doctor Who.
Ciaran did it.
You're welcome.
Does this mean I'm now no longer allowed to reference Doctor Who on the other podcasts?
Ever again. You can't say anything. Matter of fact, we can no longer do David Tennant and Matt Smith stuff.
What about John Hurt?
Maybe he's got some good stuff out there. But yeah, there's something different, guys, than rather than doing go tackle TV. And it's actually a good way because we will tackle TV. There's some great episodes about the X-Files I wouldn't mind touching.
Oh yeah.
There's one called Home. That was banned in the U.S.
Yes, it's basically Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Mulder and Scully.
It aired once in the U.S. and then it was pulled.
Yeah, I remember it well.
And finally got released in a box set. Now it's the norm. But I was shocked when I saw it. And then you've got the Skinny Man who goes through the vents and some fun episodes.
Yeah.
So we can do TV and just talk about some different episodes of, go back to Quantum Leap or The Night Stalker or even Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
have some fun with that. This was kind of like a launching pad to see if it could be done.
Yeah.
So there you have it. We're going to wrap this one up, people.
I would just like to say before we go, Doctor Who is 60 years old, and basically just around a week's time. So happy 60th birthday, Doctor Who.
There you go. We got The Simpsons. So that's 35, I think. So we're getting there. So there you have it. There you go. Listen, guys, give us a shout out if you like this Doctor Who little mini. It was kind of a retrospective. We did two of them, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Give us a shout at citizenframe_podcast and on Instagram, and of course Facebook. We appreciate you checking us out. Downloads have picked up as usual. And we promise in the near future we're going to be doing some revamp. I keep saying revamping and stuff, but we're getting there, baby steps. I think what's going to happen is it's going to happen all in one day. Everyone's going to be thrown off.
Yeah, but that's the way these things go sometimes.
Exactly. It's all about money and sponsorship and so forth. So, thanks, guys. And next up, that's right, number 5 is alive.
Johnny 5 is alive.
So we're going to watch a little Short Circuit 1 and 2 in a double feature retrospective. So it'll be an all-in-one. So look forward to that. You guys, take care of yourselves. Have a good one.
Woo!